Doing other formulas in VBA is sometimes a bit tricky. Let me explain it to you via an example. So if I just record a macro here, I'll just say okay, so you can say it says stop recording and hit button, so we are busy recording. So if I just stand on cell A1 and I just say sum, and I'm summing that column. Then if I go stand in F7 and I do another sum and just do there. So let's just stop it and go see how it looks. So can you see it doesn't look like your normal type of formulas. So effectively this is your formula. And it uses the rows and columns format, where it says column -6, rows -1. So it's a bit tricky to do this. So in this case, it's going to column 2. And what did we do? We did column C. So why it's doing that? Because it's saying in this location where we're on, 1, 2. And it's then doing that. Let's test it. If I've got 1, 2, 3 there, if I say here, column 3, let's run it quickly. So it's going to go to range A1, and that's my current active cell. And then it's going to go there. So it's then 1, 2, 3. So it's starting just after the place where we are. So it's a bit more tricky. So let's go figure out what this sum did. So in this sum, we were standing on cell F7. That's why we selected that range F7 select. Then we said, go to the current active cell. And then the first one would be my first range. So then go 6 rows up, which is -6, and 1 column left. So effectively that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1 left. So in column E. So it would start there effectively in E1. Then we set sum up until the row and column of -1. So effectively just go 1 up. So that's why it would say E1 to E7. So can you see it looks a bit different? So let's go try another one. Let's do a VLOOKUP, which is a bit more complicated. So I'm going to say VLOOKUP, search for that value. The values is irrelevant at this stage. I'm just teaching you the principle. So now we did a normal VLOOKUP. So that's how a normal VLOOKUP would look. So let's go see how one would look under VBA coding. So VLOOKUP that. We're going there. And let's just stop the recording. And let's go see how it looks. So although the name is the same, it again, first we go to row column -1. So we're just effectively going 1 back. Then my range is column 5. So let's just see, we said our range is 5. So from this place, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is our column. And it's 1 and 0. So what would happen if we select more than 1 column? Let's record another macro. I'm going to say equals VLOOKUP. So this is going to do the -1. Then we're selecting 3 columns and 1 and 0. So let's stop that quickly. Let's go back. So can you see now the criteria is still range -1 because we just went 1 back. And this is now from C5 to C7, which means column 5 to column 7. So you can sort of understand where it's coming from, but it's complicated to do. So the best tip I can give you is rather record a normal formula and go see how it looks. If you do something like this, because we only did 1 formula at a time, let's just record a macro quickly. So if I'm going to stand there and I want the total up until there, and then I copy this, and then I stop my macro. Let's go see what happens here. So the sum still looks the same. But now we're selecting the first one and we're pasting the other one. Just make sure you didn't fix that. How would it look if we did fix it? Let's go record a macro and find out. So we say sum, we select it, we press F4 and we enter. Then we say copy and we paste it. Then I'm just stopping the macro. So let's go back. So can you see the difference now? Now we're getting more specific. We're selecting row 1 and column 2, and then row 1 and column 8. So now we're more specific. So now it's just going to copy the same. So instead, on the top one there, we set row column -1 on this one here. So we set row column 1 and row column 9. So we selected the range. In this case, we are very specific. So be careful how you do it, and make sure you know exactly what you want to do before you record it. But always use the recording function for getting other types of formulas.